We tap a screen, a car arrives, and we get in. It's a routine so deeply embedded in modern life that we rarely pause to consider the level of trust we place in the stranger behind the wheel. But behind that seamless interface, the company connecting you to that driver has meticulously quantified the risks of the ride and kept the true scale of those risks largely out of public view. That veil of secrecy started to lift in September of 2025, when a congressional subcommittee sent a formal oversight request to Uber's chief executive. The committee challenged the company's official safety disclosures. This data visualization contrasts Uber's previously publicized safety numbers with the newly uncovered federal data. While the company had disclosed roughly 12,500 cases of sexual assault and misconduct over a 5-year period, the committee revealed the actual total was staggering. Over 400,000 trips resulted in a report between 2017 and 2022. When you break down that massive volume over time, the math reveals a grim reality. A report of sexual assault or misconduct was filed against an Uber driver in the United States almost every 8 minutes. This relentless frequency stands in sharp contrast to the corporate narrative. In its public safety reports, the company repeatedly claimed to prioritize its community and stated they rely heavily on a survivor's statement of experience when reviewing incidents. While public marketing campaigns emphasized a deep commitment to safety, the internal data points to a massive, systemic legal crisis being actively managed behind closed doors. Those individual reports eventually culminated in a nationwide multi-district litigation known as MDL 3084. Today, it represents more than 3,000 survivors who have consolidated their cases to challenge the company's safety failures on a systemic level. The plaintiffs argue that the platform failed to adequately screen its drivers, ignored red flags from prior complaints, and prioritized rapid growth over basic safety technologies. While executive leadership maintained a public posture of zero tolerance for sexual assault, the corporation's defense strategy inside the courtroom told a completely different story. The legal team actively sought to undermine the testimony of survivors. They employed a tactic known as a credibility discount, attempting to drag plaintiffs' mental health histories into evidence to suggest they shouldn't be believed. The company even tried to make attorney advertising the central issue of the trials. They argued that juries should consider whether plaintiffs had seen lawyer ads before filing suit, implying the litigation was driven by marketing rather than actual harm. Every one of these procedural maneuvers served a single calculated purpose: deflecting corporate responsibility and shifting the burden of proof squarely back onto the very survivors the company publicly claimed to support. To manage a docket with thousands of claims, federal courts use bellwether trials. These are the early test cases designed to determine how juries will react to the evidence, setting the legal and financial stakes for everyone else in the litigation. The first major test concluded in Arizona in February of 2026, when a federal jury returned a decisive $8.5 million verdict against the rideshare giant. Shortly after, a second consecutive bellwether trial began in North Carolina. This case centered on Brianna Mensing, a passenger who testified her driver grabbed her thigh and threatened her during a ride in March 2019. Mensing testified that her primary goal was accountability and a formal apology, choosing to pursue a public admission of responsibility over a significant financial payout. The jury awarded her $5,000 in damages. While the dollar amount was small, the verdict was legally devastating. The jury evaluated the evidence, rejected the defense's attempts to undermine her credibility, and validated her account of the assault. 2 consecutive federal juries looked at the facts and reached the exact same conclusion. Despite the platform's attempts to distance itself from the people behind the wheel, the company is being held responsible for driver conduct. For years, the core of the company's legal shield has been the platform defense. They argued they were merely a technology intermediary, connecting independent contractors with riders, completely absolving them of liability for whatever happens during the trip. That defense collapsed when Judge Charles Breyer, who oversees the consolidated litigation, issued a pivotal ruling redefining the company's legal status entirely. This diagram illustrates the common carrier standard, a strict legal classification applied by the judge. Historically reserved for trains, buses, and airlines, this standard imposes a heightened legal duty on the corporation to provide a safe journey for the passenger, entirely bypassing the independent contractor shield. Crucially, this creates a non-delegable duty. The company cannot outsource its responsibility for your safety to the driver. If a passenger is assaulted in that car, the platform itself is legally on the hook. Facing this new legal reality, the company is finally beginning to implement stronger safety measures, including launching pilot programs for encrypted in-car video recording in select cities like Washington, D.C. The pressure for these internal changes stems directly from the survivors who stepped forward to testify, forcing the corporation to confront the 8-minute reality revealed in its own records. The shift toward a common carrier status removes a major legal hurdle for thousands of pending cases. Now, the industry must decide if its model can survive the transition from technology intermediary to transportation provider, with a heightened duty to passengers.